Before factories rose and cities gleamed, America was nothing but endless wild land. The first American fortune wasn't gold or silver, but cleared land for farming. Simple dirt roads became the first arteries, pumping goods toward America's economic heart. Behind every frontier farmer stood women whose labor turned wilderness into productive homesteads. Cotton fields stretched across southern soil, building fortunes on the backs of enslaved people. Enslaved hands picked cotton that filled northern factory mills and European textile warehouses. The Mississippi River flowed south, carrying agricultural wealth toward ports and hungry global markets. River captains became wealthy middlemen, connecting isolated farms to the wider commercial world outside. New Orleans thrived as cotton flowed through its ports toward mills in England and France. Strong backs loaded cotton onto ships, each bale representing labor, profit, and global trade. Northern factories hummed with machinery, spinning southern cotton into cloth for growing American cities. Mill girls tended machines for 12 hours daily, earning wages that gave them unprecedented freedom. The Erie Canal linked Great Lakes farmers to Atlantic ports, transforming New York's economy. Barge operators guided wheat and corn toward eastern cities, feeding America's growing urban population. Ohio and Illinois wheat fields stretched endlessly, promising bread for eastern tables and profits. With scythe and muscle, farmers cut wheat by hand under brutal summer heat each harvest. General stores linked rural farmers to distant factories, exchanging crops for tools and cloth. Storekeepers acted as bankers, traders, and community anchors on the expanding American frontier.
Gold fever swept across America, pulling fortune seekers westward toward California's muddy mining camps.
Most prospectors found only rocks and exhaustion, but dreams of gold kept them panning daily. While miners chased gold, merchants grew rich, selling them overpriced shovels, pans, and food. Savvy merchants knew the real gold lay in supplying desperate miners with essential tools and provisions. Texas ranchers grazed cattle on endless open range, building herds that would fuel America's beef. Ranchers claimed vast territories, turning wild land into profitable cattle operations spanning thousands of acres. Wagon trains rolled westward, carrying families chasing land, opportunity, and the promise of prosperity. Women walked beside wagons for months, enduring dust, disease, and death for Western land. Every frontier homestead was a bet that backbreaking labor would eventually transform into family wealth.
Homesteaders broke prairie sod with muscle and faith, turning government land grants into family farms.
Small frontier towns became trading posts, where farmers exchanged crops for manufactured goods from back east.
Blacksmiths hammered iron into plowshares and horseshoes, crafting essential tools for frontier survival and prosperity. Iron rails would stitch together a continent, transforming weeks of travel into mere days of progress. Irish laborers swung sledgehammers in desert heat, driving iron spikes that connected American coasts together. Workers' camps moved with the railroad, temporary cities of canvas housing men building permanent progress. Chinese laborers dangled from cliffs with explosives, carving railroad paths through impossible mountain granite walls. Finished railroad tracks stretched endlessly forward, steel arteries ready to pump commerce across continental distances.
Steam locomotives represented American industrial might, powerful machines that conquered distance with iron and coal. Engineers commanded steam and steel, their expertise preventing disasters while maintaining precise delivery schedules daily.
Chicago's railroad station became America's crossroads, where Western cattle met Eastern factories and Southern cotton. Station managers orchestrated constant chaos, coordinating trains, cargo, and passengers with military-like precision and efficiency.
Stockyards transformed Texas Longhorns into Chicago beef, railroad cars connecting ranch to urban dinner table.
Cowboys channeled cattle into rail cars, their horsemanship bridging wild range and industrial railroad transportation systems.
Pittsburgh's mills glowed day and night, pouring molten steel into rails that would carry American commerce.
Mill workers faced furnace heat and molten danger, pouring steel that literally built modern America's foundations.
Factory districts hummed with machinery, transforming immigrant labor and raw materials into manufactured wealth and prosperity.
Foremen drove production relentlessly, balancing worker safety against factory owners' demands for maximum profitable output daily.
Factory workers lived packed in tenements, their labor building industrial fortunes they would never share. Women stitched garments by gaslight for cents per piece, their fingers bleeding for family survival. Corporate offices towered over factory floors, housing magnates who controlled steel, rails, and American industrial power. From mahogany-paneled offices, executives commanded industrial empires, their decisions affecting thousands of working families daily. Workers struck for dignity and fair wages, risking jobs and violence to challenge industrial owners' power.
Union leaders organized workers into collective force, demanding fair treatment from industrialists who preferred cheap labor.
Pennsylvania oil gushed from ground, replacing whale oil and creating millionaires from muddy drilling fields.
Roughnecks worked oil derricks in brutal conditions, pumping black crude that would fuel industrial revolution.
Rockefeller's refineries dominated oil processing, crushing competitors while building America's first massive industrial monopoly empire.
Supervisors orchestrated refinery operations, managing workers and machinery that processed crude into profitable refined products.
Gilded Age mansions displayed industrial fortunes, marble halls built on steel profits and worker exploitation.
Wealthy wives presided over elegant parlors, their comfortable lives funded by distant factories and mines.
Wall Street financiers traded industrial stocks and bonds, concentrating wealth through speculation and financial manipulation.
Banking titans controlled industrial capital, their financial decisions determining which companies thrived or failed completely.
Steel bridges spanned rivers and ambition, engineering triumphs proving America's industrial and technical mastery worldwide. Detroit's factories birthed the automobile age, transforming American transportation and creating entirely new industrial wealth. Engineers worked tirelessly perfecting internal combustion engines, creating machines that would remake American society completely. Ford's moving assembly line revolutionized manufacturing, transforming skilled craft into standardized mass production efficiency and profit. Assembly workers repeated single tasks thousands of times daily, human cogs in Ford's revolutionary production machine.
Dealerships brought automobiles to Main Street America, democratizing transportation that was once only for wealthy elites. Salesmen pitched automobiles as necessities, not luxuries, convincing farmers and workers to buy freedom on wheels.
Automobiles freed farmers from isolation, shrinking distances and connecting rural America to urban markets and culture.
World War I turned factories into arsenals, American industrial capacity producing weapons that would win global war.
Women filled factory floors during wartime, proving their capability while men fought overseas in European trenches.
Victory parades celebrated American triumph, industrial might having proven decisive in winning the Great War overseas. The 1920s roared with prosperity, Americans buying automobiles, radios, and stocks with unprecedented.
Brokers sold stock to eager investors, everyone convinced Wall Street prosperity would continue rising forever upward.
Radio towers broadcast entertainment and advertising, creating new industries while connecting isolated Americans coast to coast.
Radio stars became household names, their voices welcomed nightly into millions of American living rooms nationwide.
Skyscrapers soared higher, steel and ambition reaching skyward as symbols of American prosperity and architectural daring.
Ironworkers balanced on steel beams high above streets, their fearless labor building America's soaring urban skylines.
October 1929 brought financial apocalypse, stock values collapsing and destroying fortunes within single trading hours.
Wealthy investors watched helplessly as paper fortunes evaporated, stock certificates becoming worthless within devastating trading hours. Breadlines snaked through American cities, once proud workers now depending on charity for basic daily survival meals.
Skilled craftsmen stood in breadlines, their expertise and pride crushed by economic collapse and mass unemployment. Dust storms buried farms and dreams, ecological disaster combining with economic depression to devastate rural America.
Farm wives watched helplessly as dust buried crops and hopes, ecological and economic disasters merging completely.
New Deal programs employed millions building roads, dams, and bridges, government spending reviving collapsed American economy. Government employment restored worker dignity, paychecks allowing survival while building infrastructure America desperately needed constructed.
War production ended depression overnight, factories humming constantly while producing tanks, planes, and weapons for allies.
Rosie the Riveter symbolized millions of women building warplanes, permanently transforming American gender and labor expectations.
Victory gardens sprouted everywhere, families growing vegetables to support troops while demonstrating patriotic commitment to victory.
Victory over Japan brought jubilation, America emerging as global superpower with unmatched industrial and military might.
Suburban development sprawled outward, GI Bill helping veterans buy homes and achieve post-war American dream prosperity.
Veterans bought suburban homes with government loans, building families and middle-class prosperity in post-war American abundance. Glass office towers replaced factory smokestacks, corporate management becoming the new face of American economic power. Executives managed from corner offices, their decisions directing thousands of workers and millions in corporate capital.
Typing pools hummed with secretaries processing paperwork, women's clerical labor supporting expanding corporate bureaucracy operations.
Secretaries typed letters, managed schedules, and organized files, their skills keeping corporate operations running smoothly daily.
Shopping malls became suburban temples of consumption, families spending post-war prosperity on appliances, clothing, and leisure.
Housewives wielded purchasing power, their buying decisions driving consumer economy and shaping entire product market segments.
Television brought advertising into living rooms, corporations selling products directly to families gathered around glowing screens.
Interstate highways ribboned across America, government infrastructure connecting markets and enabling unprecedented suburban sprawl and commerce.
Space race propelled aerospace industry, government contracts funding technological innovation that would reshape American manufacturing and engineering.
Engineers calculated trajectories and designed spacecraft, their technical expertise driving America's race toward lunar exploration goals.
Campus protests challenged corporate America, young people questioning materialist values and demanding economic justice for all.
Mainframe computers processed corporate data, early digital technology beginning to transform business operations and efficiency calculations.
Programmers wrote code controlling computers, their technical expertise becoming essential as corporations digitized operations and data.
Oil embargo created gas shortages, Americans waiting in lines while realizing their vulnerability to foreign energy control.
Rust Belt factories closed permanently, manufacturing jobs disappearing as production shifted overseas to countries with cheaper labor. Factory workers carried out personal belongings, manufacturing expertise suddenly worthless as industrial jobs vanished to overseas production.
Deregulation unleashed Wall Street speculation, traders buying and selling at unprecedented volumes while reshaping American economic priorities.
Traders shouted orders and made millions, aggressive speculation becoming celebrated virtue in 1980s greed is good financial culture.
Glass towers reflected 80s confidence, corporate headquarters symbolizing finance capitalism's triumph over manufacturing-based economy of past.
Women executives climbed corporate ladders, power suits and ambition challenging traditional business world's male-dominated hierarchy and culture.
Young urban professionals displayed wealth conspicuously, expensive apartments and luxury goods proving their financial success and status.
Silicon Valley sprouted tech companies, engineers and entrepreneurs building computer firms that would revolutionize global economy. Tech workers wrote software in jeans, rejecting corporate formality while building companies that would dominate future economy.
Megamalls became consumer cathedrals, Americans shopping for entertainment while retail corporations captured unprecedented market dominance and profits.
Personal computers invaded homes, digital technology beginning its transformation of how Americans worked, communicated, and lived.
Homelessness grew despite booming economy, visible proof that prosperity was bypassing millions of struggling Americans completely.
Luxury car sales soared, wealthy Americans displaying success through expensive vehicles while income inequality widened dramatically nationwide.
Luxury salespeople courted wealthy clients, facilitating purchases that demonstrated growing wealth concentration among America's economic elite.
Corporate mergers concentrated economic power, creating massive conglomerates that dominated industries while eliminating thousands of competing companies. Berlin Wall's collapse seemed to prove capitalism's triumph, American economic model appearing victorious over all competing systems. Internet cafes offered public access to cyberspace, digital networks beginning their transformation of commerce and human communication.
Web developers coded in garages, writing HTML that would become the foundation for global e-commerce revolution and transformation.
Dot-com startups created playful workplaces, young companies disrupting traditional business while venture capital fueled explosive internet growth.
Entrepreneurs pitched internet dreams to venture capitalists, raising millions for companies with zero revenue but limitless potential.
NASDAQ soared with internet stocks, electronic tickers displaying wealth creation as dot-com bubble inflated toward inevitable bursting.
E-commerce warehouses replaced storefronts, massive distribution centers fulfilling online orders, while traditional retail stores slowly declined. Warehouse workers scanned and packed orders, their speed and accuracy essential to e-commerce operations replacing brick-and-mortar stores.
Millennium celebrations welcome digital century. Y2 pewter fears proving unfounded.
Dot-com bubble burst spectacularly, worthless stock certificates proving internet companies needed actual revenue beyond venture capital funding.
September 11th attacks traumatized America, economic confidence shaken alongside national security in unprecedented terrorist strike on homeland.
Housing boom drove recovery, construction and mortgage lending creating prosperity that concealed growing instability underneath surface.
Real estate agents sold houses to unqualified buyers, commission-driven lending creating mortgage bubble that would trigger economic collapse.
Social media platforms connected billions globally, creating advertising empires built on harvesting user attention, data, and personal information.
Engineers coded addictive algorithms, social platforms designed to maximize engagement while monetizing human psychology and personal data. Housing bubble burst catastrophically, foreclosure signs spreading across suburbs as subprime mortgages collapsed, triggering global financial crisis.
Financial system froze completely, major banks collapsing as worthless mortgage securities revealed catastrophic failure of regulatory oversight.
Bank employees carried out belongings, financial sector jobs evaporating as institutions collapsed under weight of toxic assets.
Occupy protesters challenged economic inequality, demanding justice after banks received bailouts while ordinary Americans lost homes and jobs.
Smartphones assembled overseas combined American design with foreign manufacturing, globalization concentrating profits while exporting production jobs. Gig economy replaced employees with contractors, companies avoiding benefits while workers traded security for flexibility and uncertainty.
Gig workers followed app commands, smartphone technology enabling companies to control labor without providing traditional employment benefits.
Data centers processed cloud computing, massive server farms consuming electricity while storing and analyzing humanity's digital information.
Artificial intelligence labs developed machine learning, algorithms beginning to automate decisions previously requiring human judgment and expertise. AI researchers trained neural networks, teaching algorithms to recognize patterns and make decisions, transforming industries from healthcare to finance.
Pandemic emptied streets overnight, coronavirus shutting down economy while accelerating shift toward remote work and digital commerce. Remote work became overnight standard, pandemic forcing digital transformation that permanently changed where and how Americans performed their jobs. Cryptocurrency trading exploded, digital currencies attracting speculative investment promising decentralization while creating volatile unregulated markets and wealth.
Robots replaced warehouse workers, automation eliminating traditional logistics jobs while increasing efficiency and concentrating wealth in technology ownership. Tech campuses house trillion-dollar companies, glass and solar panels symbolizing digital economy's dominance over traditional American industry. America's economic engine evolves